my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things, and today I am talking to you about my 2024 book blanket. In this video, I am also going to do my best to tell people, like, here's what you should do if you're going to make a book blanket. First step is to find a pattern you like. This year, I am going to be using a 12-point star pattern from Cozy Quitch, C-W-T-C-H, Crochet. The pattern that I'm using specifically is for a temperature blanket. That is what I would recommend you look into if you want to start your own book blanket and you do not have any idea about patterns or where to start or whatever. I would look up temperature blanket kits and use one of those. So like a pattern kit where it's just like a guide on if you were making a temperature blanket, here's all the things to consider, these are the pattern, like how many colors you should have, etc. I wish I had started any of my projects prior to this year, prior to 2024, having looked up one of those beyond just going, ooh, I want to make a temperature blanket but with books. I didn't though, and so this is now the third year and I have learned from my mistakes, and I hope that you also learn from your mistakes. From my mistakes. The other thing that I recommend is to decide your color palette early on. I took images from Hobby Lobby, which is where I get all of my yarn, because it's down the road from me. I would take the images that they have online, if they have an online shop, and then put those images together. Put them together, and then if you're doing what I'm doing, which is based on genre, so each genre has a specific color, I recommend thinking about what your most common genre is, and whatever color out of that slew of colors that you've chosen, make sure it's the color you want to see the most, because you're gonna see it the most, right? So like, don't pick a color you hate or like an expensive yarn for it. My best example is that for this year, I have 2 sparkle yarns in my color scheme, which I'll put stuff up so that you guys can see, in my color scheme, and I specifically chose nonfiction and other, I think was the other one, hold on, other and nonfiction. Those are my 2 least read genres because I wanted the sparkles to just be like a little pop. I didn't want them to be the focus, I didn't want them to be very like vividly there, and then fantasy and horror, which are just generally my #1 genres, I used 2 different colors, like they're not both shades of blue, because I knew that I would have both of those a lot and I wanted a variety. So those are the big things that I would consider when you are doing your book blanket. I also would recommend, like, what kind of reader are you? Because if you can't plan your reading ahead, then you have to be really good about tracking, you have to be consistent about tracking, and you have to be comfortable with the fact that you will not finish your book blanket until the year after. You're not going to finish it until January of the next year, more than likely, because you will not be able to finish it until, like, you won't be able to do it ahead of time. The reason I can say that comfortably is because I'm a TBR whore. So January for me is done. What I've already planned for January, she's done, right? So these are my colors. This is what I have planned. I'm not doing them in like with the granny squares, I was like, no, the same colors can't touch, whatever. I'm just doing them however I have them in my tracker. That doesn't mean this is the order I'm going to read them in. It doesn't, because I don't care. Like, none of that is that important to me. So this is January at this current moment. Now, let's talk about the supplies that I have for this specific book blanket. I have that pattern, which I was really excited about. It's a 12-point star. I don't necessarily recommend using a 12-point star, but I also have never made this pattern before, so I can't really tell you how easy or hard it is. Having done January already, more or less, and having done the center already, I would say that it's maybe intermediate beginner. So like still in the beginner range, but there's some complexities there that aren't written out as super specific in the pattern, and I had to look at the images and like base things on information that I already knew because I've been crocheting for so long. So I would recommend maybe not starting with this one, especially because it is going to be a star shape. It is not going to be a square shape, and I think that also can get tricky if you've never done anything that is an obscure shape instead of just like your standard blanket shape, right? Okay. The other things that I got this year are, and I'm gonna probably show a clip of them, but I'll just show you a quick like glimpse of it here. is that, and these. So these are little wooden labels for the months of the year so that I don't have to do anything like specific, so that I can tell what the months of the year are. Like, I'm just gonna know, right? So the wood is really helpful for that. And then this guide helps me remember what colors are for what, especially when I'm starting a new year. It's a little bit hard for me to keep up with those things. And then it also says outright on one side what the yarn colors are called, so I can just take this card with me to Hobby Lobby and grab those colors. I know specifically what I'm looking for, and that makes things easier for me. I'm also going to be using, and I have a clip of this, you'll probably see it in a second, my 4mm hook from Susan Bates. This is my favorite hook. This is my favorite hook, so I'm excited that this year's book blanket is using my favorite hook specifically. This hook does not hurt my wrist, it does not hurt my hands. Usually a size above or below will inherently hurt my wrist and hands, so this is nice. This is not going to be hard. The yarn I'm using, like I said, is all from Hobby Lobby. For the color Stonewash, which is a like blue-gray, that is going to be Fantasy. For Gray Mist, which is just a light gray, that is Horror. For Soft Blue, that's my Thriller, and it is, as you imagined, a baby blue color. Blue Spruce is an interesting color name. It's like a dark gray with blue undertones. That's for sci-fi. For romance, I'm just going to be using white because I just don't expect to have that many of them, so, you know, rarity. Teal Sparkle is going to be my other. Black Sparkle is going to be my nonfiction, and then this Ivory Sparkle is what I'm calling filler slash center, and I'll talk about that in a second. The big color differences from this one and my other book blankets is that I actually have nonfiction separated out. Used to, I would consider that in my other category, so things like contemporary, historicals, nonfictions all went, classics all went into one genre category. For me, they all got put under other because I just didn't read that many of them. However, this year I want to read at least 1 to 2 nonfiction books a month to learn better and improve myself as a person. I don't know. And so I wanted to be able to mark that with a color and be able to have a visual representation of if I did that or not, right? So each month I'll be able to tell, like, did I actually do that or not? I won't have to even like look through my goals or look through my stats or anything. I should just be able to tell from the blanket. That's kind of the goal. With the filler slash center, that is, so the center obviously is going to be this centerpiece here. However, as you may know, I don't read the exact same number of books every month. So my plan is for every 3 months, I'm going to see, okay, what month have I read the most books? Say this month has 19, say next month I read 21, and the month after that I read 18. I need 21 rows then for this all to be in the same like length at the end. I will use that ivory color to fill in those missing gaps. I will know ivory means this isn't a book, this is just filler. And then at the end I can do the edges all in ivory, which is kind of the plan there. I personally, if you were going to make a book blanket, some more tips here, I personally would get all of this together, start planning it in October or November, get your supplies late November, early December, and do whatever setup you need in December. So for me, I had this center done by the beginning of this month, by the beginning of December. I am a TBR reader, so I went ahead and already had that TBR planned, especially because I have to make a video on it, so obviously it's already planned. I had that already planned. I had the colors figured out with a group of people. We all took a vote, no, but it was a full group of people that put it together with me and helped me figure out my color scheme. And so I did all of that months ago, I think. And then as soon as I could afford it, I went ahead and got the yarn. So I think those are kind of my big tips, is like plan ahead. These require a lot of planning ahead if you don't want it to consume you by the end of the next year. So like if you haven't planned it and you start it in, you know, like February, then you're already kind of a month behind. Like you've got to figure all of those things out. That's just me. I know a lot of people do things late and they crochet a lot faster than me, so like maybe they wouldn't find that as overwhelming as I would. However, I personally would just find it super overwhelming. Like knowing I'm going into January with January already done relieving. I love that for me. Like done as in I could be reading more than 19 books. I would probably read more than 19 books. We will see, right? But overall, I'm really excited about 2024's book blanket. I think it will be a much less work than 2023's book blanket. 2023's book blanket almost killed me, honestly. It was a lot. It was a lot of work. It was very stressful. But I think that 2024 is going to be a good one. And also for me, these colors match my guest bedroom color scheme. So that's great. Also, I didn't state where the wooden labels and stuff are from. They are from Laurette Crafts UK. I'll link her shop down below. I got off Etsy. The delivery time was great. And then I got some like free stuff too at the same time, so that was great. But that's it. If you have any questions about starting a book blanket, please put them down in the comments down below. I would love to help anybody out with that. If you want to tag me or yeah, tag me, I guess, in any book blankets that you guys might be using, making, whatever, please do. I love to see it. I love seeing other people do it and making their twist on it. I've seen people do like pages and book formats or book audience. Like I've seen a lot of different ways to do it, and I think it's really cool to see other ways that people are taking my idea and twisting it. So yeah, if you want to tag me in those things, please do. I would love to see it. If you enjoyed this video, also don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I do plan on posting a bit more crochet content this year, so stay tuned. And also I should, at the time that this video comes out, I should have a playlist of all of my book blanket videos, and then I will either put a link or reference it as a card. I don't know if you can reference playlists as cards, but if so, I'll put it as a card. But that's it. Thank you for watching. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, except for the first full week of the month because content breaks are good for you. I hope to see you again later. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.